Hello and welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. It's Grant Asplund here again, and I'm back with Mike Lopez. Mike, great seeing you again. So today, in the first episode of this series, Mike, we kind of talked about what's different about the cloud versus on-premise and some of the nuances and challenges and the many different things. You have to look beyond just posture management, but we wanted to really drill in to talk about these 5 common weak spots that are found. And so today we're going to hit the first one, and that's going to be outbound traffic. And I guess, the first thing, honestly, that comes to my mind is I'm thinking to myself, come on, man. What do you mean outbound traffic? Why should I care about outbound traffic? I mean, okay, I get DLP and that, but I mean, should I really care about outbound traffic?
Absolutely. I mean, today's day and age, the way we're bringing in APIs to call things, and whether we're using containers, whether we're talking about the way the pods spin up, how are we reaching out to pull these assets from elsewhere off of our data center? What communication paths are they taking? And God forbid, the instance of a breach, what about command and control bots leaving the network? On-premise, we could worry about a little bit less because we had an egress firewall. We were prepared for it. But with the cloud, we've got a lot of different things. There could be an internet gateway, an NAT gateway. It could be in each subscription. You may be running a hub and spoke model, running it through an NVA, firewall that's sitting out there in the front handling it. But oftentimes I find that customers aren't. And the direct internet traffic is going out either an internet gateway or indeed through a NAT gateway to hide it. And what happens? Without a security group to restrict that outbound traffic, these devices can communicate with anything they want at any point in time. Given a compromise, that makes it very easy for an attacker to own the environment. And as we saw with the Bitcoin mining, it's become quite common that that's what hackers are using the cloud for when they get a breach.
So they're literally just coming in and they're using your cloud resources to their benefit, and you're paying the bill. And if you're not paying much attention or the really granular attention, they're getting you, right?
Right. And if you can't see what's going on with your security groups, if you're not blocking outbound traffic, if you're not logging your flow logs, if you don't understand what's going on, if you can't see it, you can't beat it. All of a sudden you get a bigger bill. Okay, big surprise. But do you really pay attention to the bills, or does somebody in finance get the bills? Most likely it's not the security team.
Right. But you mentioned something that's really important, I think, and that's the whole notion of any outbound traffic that may potentially be CNC. I mean, that's really important to be able to understand, especially if you don't have a properly configured security group, right?
Well, absolutely. You got to understand what the communication calls outbound are doing. Like I said, we're in the API age that we're using. Everything's calling out. What if that API has been compromised? What if we're pulling from a bad container, a bad image that has been compromised? We have to be aware. And once we pull that in, we need to be sure of what our machines are communicating with. So by restricting the access, restricting where they can go, we can at least get visibility on what's going on.
Yep. Terrific. All right. Well, that has covered then the first of the list. And I really appreciate you taking the time to explain it for us, Mike. Thanks very much. Next time, we're going to talk about that segue, which was perfect, and that's visibility. So we'll see you on the next episode.